All right, goddammit. Before you go out tonight, consider this shit that I'm getting ready to say. Um, I'm gonna be honest. This has been a really trying month for me. As you probably noticed, I kind of backed away from the podcast just about this entire month, and it didn't hurt me. I had Skype, but for whatever reason, they closed down. But when I had Skype, I had no problems. But when I switched to Nextiva, because of Skype stopping their damn uh, call program, actually, they went out of business. They did that in May. I've had problems ever since. And this didn't really affected my bottom line, but of course, it's up to me to handle it. And I think what I've decided, I may get a new host. But before I even do that, I think what I need to do is, because what's going on as far as that goes, you guys on YouTube can't hear any of the callers what they're saying. So I think I'm going to repeat what they're saying so that you at least know what they're saying. But it's not going to be as good as being able to hear what they're saying. So I'm going to do what I can. But today is the weekend, so of course they don't, business Monday through Friday. But I am going to handle that Monday. So those of you that think it's kind of fucked up that you don't get to hear the caller, I agree. And that's why I didn't threaten these motherfuckers and told them, man, I'll just change services. But it ain't that easy. I mean, it's that easy to decide to change. But when you decide who you gonna fuck with, see, that's the big thing. Who you gonna fuck with? Because everybody on the internet can do what you need. Uh, I mean, I really had no problems with Skype. I made several attempts to get this shit fixed, but it didn't work for me. I'm really pissed and I'm going off this motherfucking time when I talk to them. Because I didn't made 4 calls. And after the last one, they made another excuse. They was talking about it's something internal with my computer. And they can tell by talking to me I ain't no computer freak. So how the fuck am I going to know what's internal with my computer? But if that is what's going on, I talked to Steve today and he told me, man, you bought a roadcaster. Why ain't you using it? And I think that's what I'm going to try to do. So let's get on with what we're talking about today. I deal with this kind of shit regularly. Uh, you deal with this kind of shit, and at the same time, they're saying, the people you're dealing with, talking about how great their service is, and you didn't been on hold or whatever for 50 minutes. See, you got to understand there's a lot going on when something like that happens. You're not a victim, but you are influenced by what's going on in this fucking country. Most Americans believe we live in a country that thrives on attitude and war. Now, war on anything that disagrees with what the right thinks. Now, I'm not really talking about politics. I'm talking about, do any of you realize what war is? I don't think so. Somebody call in and tell me what war is. Because what I'm saying is, I don't think you know what war is. Because we're in a war. As men, most of you see war as a battle between foes, and one of them wins or loses. That, my friends, is the outcome of war. You don't know who won or lost until it's over. War itself is a series of small battles, won or lost on the battlefields. Now think about it. The way they have chopped men's nuts off so you can deal with women. I mean, that shit got you getting at women handicapped. The women aren't restrained or refined. So you got to deal with what the fuck they say to you. Man, I ain't just accepting anything. I hope you don't. But we do battle with them. It's a war. I believe that every time I don't let no motherfucking woman make me back up from where I'm coming from, that's a win from us. But I also believe that every time a motherfucking woman make one of you motherfuckers back up, that's a win for them. So in my opinion, they're smashing us. Because there's so many of you motherfuckers that won't stand up. What are you not standing up for? Why? What are you doing this for? To get some goddamn pussy. Think about it. If you had a regiment, you're a great commander, and you sent your regiment out to do this battle, and they kicked ass. Of course, there was casualties, but your team kicked ass. What I'm saying, you make sure your fucking troops celebrated all the victories that you had and pay homage to those motherfuckers who gave their all in getting every one of your wins. Now, you don't have a regiment, but you got a regiment of thoughts, a regiment of shit you let this kind of shit send you through. So what I'm saying is, you gotta understand, this is what you're dealing with. Your army is your emotions. Your army is your thoughts. Your army is whatever makes you get to the next day. So what I'm saying, most of the time, war is like life or death. The war we're in is not necessarily a life or death type war. But best believe there will be casualties. There's going to be casualties because you motherfuckers is going to allow the time to pass until SWU in life overwhelm my motherfucking ass. I'm getting older. I mean, I could think, I think. But what I'm saying is that don't mean I'm thinking like I used to think. So what I'm saying, if you look at how shit go, at one point I ain't gonna be able to talk or something. I don't know what it's gonna be, but I ain't gonna miss what life got to offer. Then you're gonna be fucked up because you can't call in, you can't talk to me. Nobody called in to answer that question I asked. I didn't forget why I asked now because I talk so much shit. And I'm 73. I'm fitting to be 73. Yeah. See, once you allow time to pass until something jumps off in life with me, then you're gonna want to ask a motherfucker if I could see my way to extend you a favor. What kind of favor, nigga? And then you're gonna ask whatever. I know I said it would never be again. You'd never see it again, but I just wanted to thank you motherfuckers. You really have fucking show me love buying my tools. But I'm about to take them motherfuckers off the market. And I know why you guys are slow because you don't think of shit like what I'm finna say. Do you ever think of who you fuck with every day, who you hang with every day? Do you ever think about that? No, because it doesn't matter to you. Whoever it is, as long as they're cool with you, they're cool. But what if you looked at your diet like that? Because a lot of motherfuckers believe they gotta eat healthy because you are what you eat. How many of you guys believe that? You are what you eat. So what I'm saying is, if that's true, why aren't you who you hang out with? Hmm. You motherfuckers never thought of no shit like that, I bet. Because I think I'm an alpha nigga and I rarely, if ever, talk to beta and Charlie motherfuckers. As soon as I see it, I stop. I certainly don't do any fellowshipping with the motherfuckers. Because I don't want to get tainted. If you hang out with this shit, you're going to start thinking like this shit. When the fellas and I shoot the shit, sure, we joke around as best we can, but what we don't support is any one of us saying some bullshit. If either one of us brought bullshit to the conversation, it's gonna get smashed by my motherfucking partners. And we believe that about each other. Why don't you motherfuckers understand that unless you hang out with the real, you fucking hanging out with fakes? Shit. You need to stop fucking with these cupcake dudes. Unless you're planning on being a baker. Because what I'm saying is your friends are your resources. Do you know what resources are? I hope you do. Do you realize what a resource is? And if you do you use your resources wisely? See, what I'm saying is a lot of you guys out there don't know what the fuck a resource is. You think you know. But what I'm saying is, why would you want to get into a conversation and you got a phone, you can look the shit up right quick and see what a resource is. What I'm saying is, I don't like to talk in the blind. I'd have looked it up real quick. But a resource is a source of help or a backup supply of something or an avenue you can take that's not known to everybody, but your resource put you up on it, and you're making that move. What I'm saying is, with that definition in mind, I'm asking again, do you use your resources wisely? See, I'm a plethora of information, and I'm willing to share the shit with all of you. But, and this is a hell of a but, do you utilize or scrutinize, this information I'm giving you? What, deem it valuable or not? I'm saying, do you weigh it? That's the real question. Because at Southwark University, we just had a self-assessment, and all they got to do is answer the questions. And what I'm saying is, if the motherfuckers are wondering where they're at, I'm talking about as far as progress, I gave them uh, a self test that they could take. And let me tell you what it is. It's really dope. And first of all, I asked them, how long do it take you to answer questions? Now, what I'm saying is, they could tell me how long. But if what I say is on hit, then they're answering questions much quicker because they're going with their first thought. They're not second guessing themselves. Now, number two is like, do you respond scared? Because what I'm saying is, if you believe in yourself and you're truly responding to the question, there's nothing to fear. You're either right or wrong, and you're going to accept or not what it is. My point is, if you believe in yourself, you're going to fucking be able to do this shit. The third thing I ask them is, do you not know what to say as much as before? These are questions the motherfuckers that's going to class answer themselves. I just asked the question. They're going to provide the answers. And the fifth one is, well, the fourth one. Are you more independent and confident that you can handle shit? And the fifth one is, do you speak to more women? These are things you can answer yourself. And the sixth one, are you as scary as before? And the seventh one, do you take chances? Now, what's important about those questions is they're talking about a specific problem all the motherfuckers had. And you have either learned to overcome them or how to set them aside because they're not that important. And if you learn that, you didn't know that shit before you came to sidewalk you. So something is working, and we're only like one fourth, fifth of not fifth, maybe a fourth. We're about a fourth of the way through. So what I'm saying is these are things that each individual can answer for themselves. They ain't got nothing to do with my influence. It just has to do with answering those questions honestly. I'm just saying, even though, even though I didn't fucking, you know, mean that I wouldn't ever share these tools, it's like that now because I'm finna fucking use the tools in my school. And I ain't finna, let you have that shit and I'm using the shit. That's why I always check my motherfucking Abadabba output. Checking your output is something as important as having hoes is to a pimp. And there's a way to be a real pimp. You got to be calling all the shots. The women have to all be in pocket. Your traps got to be proper. And you'll never have no fucking women that need to borrow some motherfucking money. Pimps will never let the woman have them find the track or find tricks. This nigga's wardrobe is straight. His jewels and his ride is straight. He's fully coughed. And he got Abadabba cute friends who respect him. And he got fakers who hate him. And the popo all admire the hell out of him. Now, if you can check yes on all these things, you have 1/10 of what the fuck you need to roll properly. But you have the means to get the rest. So let me hit you to this. Age is something. I guess it's got its good points and it got its bad points. Like everything else in life. But I'm on the good side of it most of the time. But there's times the bad side of it, gets this goddamn way with me. Now, I drove to the Bay Area a couple of weekends ago. And I came right back. I'm telling you, my fucking body was so damn sore because I'm not a young man anymore, and I guess you really got to be a young man to fucking drive and turn around and come back. Because I'm telling you, my body was sore. It was really sore. I really remember I could do this shit twice in a day. So when this little business came up, I felt that I could go take care of it and do a turnaround. But I was really feeling it the next morning. I woke up to the same pain I went to sleep with. It was my back. So I exercised my elbow. Then I got some rest. That back pain was happening. I felt it at 9 o'clock in the morning. And I had hella shit to do. And believe it or not, I did it. I'm saying this because there is a shortage of good information on the etiquette of a motherfucker like me, a motherfucker with this abba. Not to tout or toot my own horn, but my book, Rosebud to American People, will show you. In the audio book, you can hear it, and it's even better because it's got sound music to it. But my book will show you how I used my principles and boundaries, on what I would or would not do. It will show you how I used it and the sense it made to use it this way. If you don't know what the rules and etiquettes are, then for people in this abadabba, sometimes you got to search for the motherfucking information to clarify things for you. When the wind is blowing a certain direction, it blows confidence your way. That's what I'm talking about. Belief. How can you how can you fucking expect something to happen if you don't believe it will happen? For your confidence to grow, you must believe there's a way for it to grow. And if your confidence can benefit from the way the wind is blowing, so motherfucking be it. When the wind is blowing that way, I'm going to feel more confident. My confidence is ever evolving because I believe in evolution of the mind. I really don't believe in anything else. As your mind evolves, so does the benefits of your confidence. Winter is coming and it's going to get cold. Now, I would love to have me a cutie. Don't have to be no young cutie. But what I'm saying, I would love to have me somebody to cuddle over here on those fucking coming cold nights. Wouldn't you? Well, I'm confident I'm going to get me a few new ones this winter. Are you? If you had real confidence, you'd ask yourself, when don't my conversation, you know what I'm saying, work? Or what season does my conversation work best? I'm in all seasons, man. And my convo doesn't depend on what month it is, although I'll be damned if I don't use the weather in my conversation. The thing about winter, it's life for me. I'm in the winter of my life. And I'm all tucked in with this abadabba I'm blessed to have. I've had the honor of knowing and displaying this abadabba Q with some giants and some peons. I've been on safaris, and on these safaris, we didn't hunt birds or butterflies or look for lost orchids or any of that goddamn shit because we looked and hunted lions and tigers and bears because we was big game hunters. Yeah, we was big game hunters. In the jungles of the many tracks were our hunting grounds. Every motherfucker where we went, we was hunting. These days, all my partners are chilling like me. We're not in rocking chairs and none of that kind of goddamn shit, even though our hair is great. And our pace has slowed down a little. But we still say ain't no game like the motherfucking game you get from an OG. Every aspect of this abadabba is explored on my motherfucking MP3s. and they're all in, were available. I guess I gotta quit saying that shit. Everything is going well in my store except for my ebooks. I guess you motherfuckers don't like to read because it surely can't be the cost. I don't think any one of them costs more than $10. I have books on my site that once you begin reading, you're gonna just see a totally different side of me. You're gonna see an author. You're gonna see I can really write. Now, most of the things you have read from me are about the life I led, but none of my books, besides my autobiography, none of my books are about, my life in the streets. Recently, I spoke on my beliefs on religion. Did you know I wrote a book on religion? The name of it is Fears. And I'm just saying, each of the five major religions use fear tactics to get you on their team. Like I say, the title of my book is Fears, and that's an acronym for false evidence appearing real syndrome. And it explores how religion works. It works on your fear factor to get you to comply with the rules of that religion. The five major religions of the world are Judaism, Islam, Buddhism, Hinduism, and Christianity. But not in that order, except Christianity is last because it's the newest. Each of these religions use fear tactics to entice you into their flock. Instead of using the love of God or the serenity and peace that, loving God or being real with God is going to bring. Why is that? Read my book and see that it's not the religion. It's the money hungry messengers who have turned religious belief into a farce. Now, on another note, can you believe it's been over 25 years since America been? I know we lost Mel Taylor. We lost one of them youngsters out of New York. Danny Brown, that blues singer. He's ill, but he's still hanging in. Uh, Magic Wand. He's been on his grind, and he is dealing with some health issues now. But I think he's still quite visible, although actually I haven't really seen him on the scene. But he got some health issues, some serious ones, maybe not life threatening, but serious. And Fillmore Slim been playing at all the goddamn major blues festivals. Can you believe in a few years, Fillmore Slim will be 100 years old? Now I don't know how many years. Could be 10, but it ain't more than 10. I just don't believe it's more than 10. But what that's saying is this game will preserve you. And not everybody gonna get what he's getting. I just hope I do. I'm already getting bored. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna be thinking about when I get 92. I'm probably gonna be bored to death. But I'm serious. You motherfuckers ain't calling a nigga, but it's cool. All you motherfuckers don't really want to talk. I don't care. It's alright. You know, uh, now, Charm, I heard passed. In another one of them motherfuckers who I ain't gonna mention this goddamn name because I don't know if this shit I heard is true. But I heard the motherfucker is a fugitive. Now, Andre Taylor, he been doing his thing with his daily blast of positive messages on a variety of things. None of it have to do with the game. That motherfucker then took his all the way away from the game. So have I, but on a different level. I'm not saying it's higher or lower than what he doing. It's just, I ain't the only motherfucker thinking like this. Brad, I don't really know about. Like I said, Kenny Red had been on the roll and he looked like fucking Hercules, but he passed. So whoever I missed, my bad. But as you can see, 25 years didn't serve us well. I'm gonna try to team up with these motherfuckers and bring some of that shit us together and see if we can bring some of that shit back. Not necessarily to make a documentary, but just for us to be together again. Uh, Dudes in this fucking Alabama today are so far off the point. Mostly because of how easy we made it look in American Pimp. But don't all professionals make their work look easy? For some reason, all the young motherfucking men of today have interpreted this Abba to represent Scarface or that fool from New York. Gangster shit is for gangsters. It has no place in this Abba we live. Gangster shit is a part of the game, but it's not a part that we fuck with. But we all got gangster in us. I know you all will say I'm soft and couldn't make it in today's street. I couldn't make it for one reason, and that's I'm too old. But if I was a young motherfucker, my mentality would be similar to some of these motherfuckers that I've met. I've read posts where, that they made it, and I can see that they got it. Well, let me say this. They have the flavor I would gravitate to if I was in a town and wanted to meet a pimp. You want to know what's really funny? If you see any picture of some old school niggas posing, styling, or just, taking a pimp flick, you always saw our teeth. That's because nigga was proud and smiled like a motherfucker. Today, I look at, pictures of motherfuckers in the game. Some of them be suited and booted. But them motherfuckers look mad as fuck. What happened to the joy a nigga got from being a pimp? Now, I'm a big fan of individualism, but I truly believe most of all the people on social media or that fuck with social media are of the herd mentality. They're gonna do something just because somebody else is doing it. And I offer them motherfuckers my condolences. Sad thoughts don't come from you motherfuckers who are conscious thinkers and call yourselves aware. Have you considered something like this? If a group named itself the real so-and-so, and you joined and found that 95% of the membership were not real, what would you do? I could answer that for you. I ain't gonna even let you trip. You would call all your goddamn friends and encourage them to join. That's because you're like cattle or sheep. You don't give a fuck where you're going. You just want to follow the herd so you don't get lost. The thing is, if the herd you're following is going nowhere, aren't you already lost? It's okay for a cow or a sheep not to care where the fuck they go. But is it the same for humans? I know it's the same for techno humans. You prove it to yourselves every day, you know, on social media sites. I know it's the same. It's the same for techno humans. You prove it to yourself every fucking day on social media, and you know it. So quit trying to act like I'm picking on you. Why not break the chain of silliness and start fucking looking for something substantive for you to grab a hold to and believe in? You don't have to be a man without focus or direction. You don't have to be a woman who's have man doubt or self pity. None of us must do anything except follow our dreams. What are you dreaming about? Creative people most times don't know they're really creative until something happens to awaken that creativity. When it does happen, the gates are open and their minds is fertile with ideas. Of course, you want your ideas to be, the basis of your newfound fortune that you're about to acquire. But just about every time it's not. Do that fucking stop you from coming up with ideas? Hell no. It don't stop me. I have so many things I've created. It reminds me of how often I used to, create, come up with wonderfully creative ways to motivate my hoes to pay my ass. This abadabba is something else. And when it's in you, it stays with you. Just about everything I do or think is because I was blessed to use my mind to its fullest potential when I was in them streets. But it's possible for me to stay in my lane in any arena I get in. Damn, it just never stops for any of us. Especially me. I keep getting compliments from people who have downloaded them MP3s. And the most common one is it's eye opening to the work that goes into what a pimp thinks. That's what it's about, learning this shit instead of thinking you know. Of course, all the compliments comment on the 27 rules, to be a motherfucker. Those rules were rules I lived by, but I'm sure there's many motherfucking niggas with rules that I did not mention, I did not bring up. And it's not to say those aren't rules. Those are rules those niggas live by. What I have is rules I live by. But like I said, I'm sure there's many motherfuckers. The one thing that stands out about the MP3s I have for you is just like being privy to what really clarifies what it takes, to be real in this fucking shit. A lot of shit motherfuckers don't know, they just acting like they know. This life, this game, I have it. You get some if you dare. Everybody at one time or another gotta go. And when you're young, you don't really think about how easy your life can be taken from you. It doesn't uh, register. It don't reflect your own mortality. It's different for OGs, but for different reasons. For OGs, birthdays seem to represent that time is one more year closer. And when we lose one of our friends, it's a reminder to us what's in store. I mentioned Kenny Red earlier, and I'm sad to say we lost him last year. And if God continues to bless me, I'm getting ready to see my 73rd birthday. I'm a nigga that has gone through a lot of shit in my life. I really have. I'm not just claiming some bullshit. I really have gone through some shit. And at one time, I didn't think I would make it to this age. But thanks to my mother's prayers and God's blessings, I just might get to see that 73 birthday milestone. I'm a truly blessed and fortunate man. Kenny Red was living a clean life, no drinking, smoking, or drugs, and he had become a health nut. He owned a fucking gym, and if you saw him, you would be able to see his fucking yokes. He was blessed, and I, for one, am really glad he realized it before it was too late. You all better recognize what's your blessings and where it's going to be coming from. I don't know if it was his stint in the joint that did it for him. All I do know is once he was back on the streets, I saw a different man. I saw a man on a mission to accomplish something in his life. Rest in peace, K Red. I'm living my life to the fullest, and I'm enjoying all these ideas I keep having. I keep making myself believe my life is being preserved or extended by all the thinking I have to do. A good friend is a terrible thing to lose. A mind is a terrible thing to waste. And time is even worse to overlook. All right, I'm out, y'all.